Folks, welcome to another edition of Sticks-n-Stones. Happy New Year. It is, what's today, the 3rd? Yes, January 3rd. We are already 3 days into 2026. And I have an awesome pairing for you today. It's a great way to start out the new year. It's my first episode. I am pairing GlenDronach Original 12-year single malt Scotch. This is a Highland Scotch. I'm pairing that with a really good one today, a Diamond Crown Maximus number 6 Double Robusto. I think it's going to be awesome. So we're just going to dive right on in. I got everything rolling for me. I'm up here on X. I can see myself looking good. So anyway, yeah, I've been wanting to do some of the Diamond Crowns for a while, but they are a mite pricey. So, but I really am looking forward to this one with the GlenDronach. GlenDronach, as I said, is a Highland Scotch. It is a single malt. It's aged 12 years, 43% alcohol by volume, so 86 proof, and it is aged in Pedro Ximénez and Oloroso sherry casks. Some really good stuff. So GlenDronach is one of Scotland's most respected sherried malt producers, aged in sherry barrels, known for a robust kind of old school approach that emphasizes the rich cask influences over a light distillate kind of character. As I said, the 12-year-old is it's called the original. It's matured exclusively in the combination of Pedro Ximénez. It starts with an X, but it doesn't sound like an X. And the Oloroso sherry casks or butts, whatever they want to call them, giving it a depth that is really beyond the age statement that it has, and positioning it as a kind of a benchmark in the entry-level sherried scotches. So let's go ahead and class a little bit of this up. As you can tell, I do kind of like it. It is really good stuff. And it's, I don't know, with the new, all the tariff stuff going on right now, I don't know exactly what it is, but typically it was in the like $55 to $65 range. It could be more than that now. But it's worth it. It's very worth it. On the glass, it's just got that beautiful kind of light golden color to it. Maybe just a little bit of a hint of kind of reddish hues to it, but just an absolutely beautiful Scotch in the glass. On the nose, oh, on the nose, oh, telling you, this is wonderful stuff, as you can tell by the bottle. You get some really robust notes of like dark raisins, baked figs, that kind of fruit. And then you also get a little bit of orange peel, maybe a little bit of kind of a toasted walnut kind of oiliness in the aroma, and some nice soft baking spices. It is a wonderful spirit. I can't say that enough. It extols some very great legs on the glass, on the palate. Move that camera down just a little bit so you can see a little better. This lovely face, right? All right, now I forgot what I was thinking about. Let me try again. I remember where I was. On the palate, you get this kind of sherry soaked kind of fruit cakiness, and I mean that in a really good way. because I'm not a big fan of fruitcake. But you know what I mean, I think. Um, you also get these really good notes, these very good notes of kind of honeyed malt, a little bit of cocoa powder, and then some kind of cinnamon stick warmth on the end. It's got a medium to medium long finish, um, with dried fruit, some oak tannins in there, and a really nice gentle clove. Wonderful, wonderful. Now let's move on to the Diamond Crown Maximus, J.C. Newman Cigar Company. The Diamond Crown Maximus represents the boldest expression within the Diamond Crown portfolio. It is crafted by Tabacalera e Fuente. You might recognize that particular word, Fuente, in the Dominican Republic. It showcases a thick, oily Ecuadorian sun-grown wrapper over aged Dominican tobaccos. The number 6 Vitola delivers both elegance and power, and with a reputation for flawless construction, and a refined and evolving flavor palette. Really looking forward to how these two go together. I mean, as I said, this is a double Robusto, so it is 5 inches in length, but it's more like it's a 54, 56, somewhere around in there. It looks like probably a 54. And the binder and filler, both Dominican, as I said, Ecuadorian sun-grown wrapper, and this is a medium full strength cigar. Kind of a regular chocolate brown, kind of milk chocolate, not a real dark chocolate. Elegant wrapper, maybe a few hints of tooth in it. Moderate veining. There's a couple of veins that kind of stick out. Nothing too bad. And well, I guess I could say invisible seams because I can't find one. No, every time I think I found one, it turns out to be a little hint of vein sticking through. So yeah, invisible seams, and a lovely double cap on the nose. You get some very, I hate saying very, I say very and really way too much. I've tried to hold off on the really, but then I'm stuck with very. There's some really good notes of cedar, like an old cedar chest or something like that. Some roasted coffee beans, which I love. Some leather and some nice notes of sweet hay. Let's give it a cut. Don't do that when you're in a cigar lounge. They may tar and feather you for licking the cigar before you cut it, if you're doing it with their cutter. Yeah. So anyway, cold draw. Very easy cold draw. Wow. I was looking at the roll and I was thinking that it may end up having a very easy draw to it, and it does. You get notes of cocoa, um, some nice sweet notes of molasses, like a deep sweetness, kind of a dark sweetness, and just a subtle hint of black pepper. Well, let's go ahead and fire it up. I'm excited. I hope you are. I'm not using my Rocky Patel Envoy today. I just didn't get it out. I already had this one in my pocket. So this is a Vertigo. It actually has a punch in the bottom of it. I always like having something built into the lighter. So in case I'm out anywhere and don't happen to have a cutter on me, there's one already in the lighter. There we go. I leave this little single torch outside, but if it gets too chilly at night, you can't. I have to like hold it and let it warm up before it'll light, because it's still got. It's full. It's completely full. But I had it out here last night, or I was out here last night watching the Holiday Bowl or something, and it wouldn't light, and so I'd held it in my hand for a couple of minutes and fired right up after that several times. On the palate, some nice notes of toasted cedar, some dark chocolate, and a little bit of espresso, um, and kind of a crema to go along with that. So like the creamy on top of espresso, some baking spices, and then a really nice kind of peppery warmth. That's a really good cigar. I still don't think I did all that great a job of lighting it. That looks better. All right, let's try them together. Try it again. The crows approve. That murder of crows. I always laugh about the Congress of baboons. That's what a group of baboons or a Congress. And I'm like, well, that pretty much sums up our Congress. I I am very sad that college football is winding down. We still got another week or so to go. But I am now in the throes of watching college basketball. We've got number 14 Alabama against unranked Kentucky. When have you heard Kentucky being unranked in basketball in a while? Second half, 12 and a half minutes to go, 11-point game. Alabama is right now is in the lead. I'm not a fan of either one, but it was on. And I'll watch SEC. There was another game on, Villanova and somebody, but if SEC's on, I'll probably watch that unless it's like, I don't know, Vanderbilt, Missouri. I won't watch. Probably won't watch that one. But all right, now I've had 3 or 4 puffs and sips, so I've got a good little conglomeration of thoughts here. This pairing really kind of leans when you're talking about Scotch. Scotch is typically a richer type of whiskey. It has a richness and a refinement that the pairing does, rather than a contrast. The GlenDronach's sherried sweetness and the dried fruit depth, and it kind of mirrors the. Let me start that over. The GlenDronach's sherried sweetness and depth of dried fruit kind of mirror the Maximus's cocoa, coffee, and more spice-driven profile. The whiskey tends to amplify the cigar's chocolate and kind of molasses notes, while the cigar reins in the Scotch's sweetness to some extent, and gives it kind of a structure and a warmth. Love it. Doesn't mean anything. I say that in almost every episode. I love doing that, but it doesn't mean anything. I just like the way it looks. I think it looks cool. Kind of looks like a Halloween. You got like the mad professor has some experiment working. But anyway, back to what we're here for. Yeah, I think these two, they really kind of create a kind of a layered cohesiveness that it almost feels deliberate. You almost think that I knew what I was doing when I did this. For those of you that may be joining in that aren't normally, maybe you're just interested in whiskey and cigars, or spirits and cigars, or maybe you're interested in one and not the other so much. This is you have two options when you're trying to pair spirits and cigars. You can either contrast, or you can not compare, but they come together. What's the word? I think I just used it a few minutes ago. They support each other. And it depends on what you're trying to get out of the pairing as to whether you want to do the contrast, or want them to kind of work together, because they both have their they're both important depending on what you're wanting, and I think this particular pairing, especially when you're dealing with a Scotch, as I said, Scotch is typically a little richer spirit than a bourbon, and I think you don't want a cigar that's going to contrast too much, from that. You end up, especially with a spirit like this, it's not real overpowering. It's just a really good, 12-year-old smooth Scotch. So you don't want to take anything away from it, but you want to add things into it that make it even better. As I said, it gives the Maximus gives the Scotch, the GlenDronach, a little bit of kind of structure and warmth. If you are new to this kind of stuff, I might not start out with a wrapper this dark. I tell people a lot on these episodes. Typically, you want to start out with a lighter wrapper. It's not always the case, but typically, when you have a lighter wrapper, that is going to be a more mild cigar. So, like a light Connecticut wrapper or something like that. And the darker you get, the more strength they have. So you work your way up. You use training wheels. It's like riding a bicycle. You don't start off on a 10-speed. You start off on tricycle and training wheels and work your way up. Because there have been a few times in my life where I have come away from a cigar going, Oh, I need to lay down for a while. Yeah. Still happens occasionally, but it's typically when like this one had a very easy draw to it. It's a short enough cigar that's not going to matter, but the easier the draw, the greater the possibility that you may draw too much, and that ends up making you a little nauseous. So, but get a little experience, you'll be all right. Start off, get really great things. Now, this is a shorter cigar. Great thing to start off with is somewhere along the lines of like Oliva, the O or the G series, the little Robustos that are like 5 by 50. They're small cigars, smoke them fairly quickly without trying to smoke them quickly. 35, 40 minutes, maybe 45. Where ones like this will go more closer to an hour, 50, 55 minutes. It's a thicker cigar. And you do, puff on a little slower. With cigars, this is not a cigarette. You're not trying to suck it down. That's what she said. And get back to the office. You're enjoying yourself. One of my quotes, I believe it was Michael Douglas, said that cigar smoking is more reflective than interactive. What does that mean, you might add? Well, when you're puffing on a cigar and you tend it every 30 seconds or so, you have time to reflect. What flavors are you getting off of it? If you're in a cigar shop and you're talking to someone, you're interacting back and forth, right? You're being reflective. It's not you working the cigar. Like people cigarette smoking, they're just puffing away and get that cigarette done, and they either light another one off of that one or they got to run back in and get some more reports done. This is not something you do on a 15-minute break. No, you have time. And especially when you can do this. Can't do that on a smoke break. I mean, you could, but then you'd have a permanent smoke break. But those go together. I was about to say really again. Those go together extremely well. Um, as I said earlier, the sherried sweetness and the dried fruit in the GlenDronach uh, really kind of mirror the Maximus's. That's kind of hard to say. Maximus's cocoa, coffee, and kind of spice driven profile. They do go together wonderfully. Beautiful stack of ash there. Very nice burn line. For me, that's what I consider straight. I hear these people talk about as a razor straight burn line. Like, this is a natural product. Natural. I mean, it's not going to burn exactly the way you want it to, but that's what I would consider straight. And that is a very easy draw on this cigar. If you caught the front end of this, I was saying that when I did the cold draw on it, I was like, I looked at the foot, and I was like, this thing may draw pretty easy from what I'm seeing here, just the way it was rolled, and it is. It's really easy. I mean, this is a Fuente manufacturer, J.C. Newman, and they did a great job. I mean, it is immaculate construction. The burn is great. The flavors are great. And it's really the quality construction that you expect. Mm. Glad I have a few more of these left. I can't have a lot of them, because I will tell you this, the other thing. Some of these can get pricey. and this is one of them. I did the Fuente Opus X 20th anniversary edition. Yeah, it was a $40 cigar. One. That is the most I've ever paid for one cigar in my life. So, yeah, look up at the replay, dude. You did it. That was a foul. I don't know, I wasn't watching, but anyway, kind of go back over for those because we've ramped up on the viewership quickly, which I'm happy for. I'm really happy. We're doing GlenDronach, the original 12-year-old single malt Scotch, Highland Scotch. And this is one thing I didn't mention, but GlenDronach has been around for a very long time. Not quite as long as, there's some of the other ones go back like hundreds and hundreds of years. But GlenDronach's been around since 1826. So this will be their 200th anniversary this year. They've been around a little while. Irish whiskey, Bushmills. I think they've been around since like 1480. That's a long time. Anyway, forgot what I was saying. I got puffing on this cigar again. On the nose of the GlenDronach, you're getting it's hard to tell now because there's a little bit of cigar smoke in there. Dark raisins, baked figs, some orange peel, kind of a toasted walnut kind of oiliness on the nose, and some nice soft baking spices. The palate, indicative of the sherry casks that these are aged in. You get this kind of sherry soaked kind of cake fruitiness with some honeyed malt and some cocoa, and then just a little bit of warmth like cinnamon stick. The finish is kind of a medium long finish with that lingering dried fruits, and you get some oakiness, kind of oak tannins in there with some hint of like cloves. And then on the cigar, the nose, we got kind of like cedar, kind of like aged cedar, kind of like a cedar chest. Some nice roasted coffee bean, some leather, and some sweet hay. The cold draw, we had cocoa and molasses and a little bit of black pepper, not a lot, just a little. And on the palate, then we had toasted cedar, a dark chocolate, some espresso and kind of crema layered on that, with some baking spices, and then just kind of it's been kind of a slow building, kind of peppery warmth to it. Not a lot. Nicaraguans are typically the ones that are spicier cigars, and this is Dominican made. As I mentioned, this is manufactured at Tabacalera Fuente. Forgot what the rest of that was in there, but anyway, it's made by Fuente. It's a J.C. Newman cigar. Excellent construction, excellent smoke. This is a really good one. And as we've kind of gotten closer to the halfway mark, and then I'm going to cut it off after this because I've tried to cut these in half down to around 30 minutes because people weren't watching 55 minutes. So, anyway, the flavors have really kind of melded together even more. The pepperiness is really kind of in the background. But the dried fruits and the molassesy sweetness, and then the kind of espresso and coffee bean, those all have kind of just settled into a really nice profile where everything is kind of supporting everything else. if you really want, you really want a great pairing and you have your training wheels off, GlenDronach, the original 12-year-old, and a Diamond Crown Maximus. This is the double Robusto number 6. Excellent pairing. I'm going to let you have some of your day back because this is the first Saturday of the new year. Some of you may be recovering from New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. I hope you have enjoyed this episode as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. Please hit like, subscribe, share, notify, love, hit the heart. Go everywhere that I run this, Rumble, X, YouTube. Hit the heart on every one of them. I really need that. I love to have comments. I can't always see them when I'm doing this, but I go back later and try to make sure I keep up with all the comments and and I am trying to not knock this off because it's doing very well, but I probably will. I am wearing my Sticks-n-Stonez Here Am I, Send Me shirt that you can get at our Amazon store, Sticks-n-Stonez, STICKS-N-STONEZ on Amazon. And on the back, it's got a desert camo, a soldier in desert camo is M4, got goggles, mask, helmet on, all that kind of stuff. And it's got Isaiah 6:8. And the Lord said, whom shall I send and whom shall go for us? And I said, here, my Lord, send me. My best-selling shirt in our store. Go pick one up. We'd really appreciate it. Comes in, most people buy it in gray, but comes in like 3 shades of gray, 3 shades of pink, purple, light blue, white. What else could you want, right? Like $21. And Amazon, they fulfill for me, so they print it, pack it, ship it, get it right to you pretty quickly. So, I sold quite a few of these over the Christmas holidays. People seem to really like them. I know you'll like them too. Until we get to be together again, keep your sticks dry, your stones cold, and have a great day.